Africa, Mama T wait for you. Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you. Africa, 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 with her eyes wide.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Celebrate Africa TV show. This is the first edition. The Celebrate Africa TV show. It's a TV show that celebrates Africa and Africans making a difference in their communities. Today on the show, we're going to be talking to some very talented, inspiring Africans from different African countries who are making huge and tremendous differences in their communities. They're putting smiles on people's faces. They're transforming lives, and they hope to do so much more.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, you on the Celebrate Africa TV show. We're just so excited to have you. On this show, we talk to Africans, amazing Africans, outstanding Africans, those ones that are doing things that impact the communities and change lives. Right now, we're going to be talking to this amazing woman. She comes from two great African nations, Uganda and Tanzania. But today on the program, she will be telling us about some of her works. She focuses on working with newborns, adolescents, and especially mothers. Let's meet her right now, and she's Tausi Swedi. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for accepting to be part of us today.
It's a blessing to be here.
Tell me a little bit about you.
Tausi. Tausi is a Swahili name. It means the peacock, the beautiful bird. That's what Tausi means. And I am the co-founder and the CEO of Childbirth Survival International, an international nonprofit based in Baltimore, Maryland, that focuses on reaching the unreached with health services and information. Our work focuses on helping mothers survive pregnancy and childbirth. As you might know, in many African countries and also some parts of Asia, women die giving birth for reasons that are very preventable. So the work that we do, we save lives, essentially. We work with midwives to make sure that they're providing quality services to these pregnant women. We work with adolescents, especially the girl child, to make sure that she goes to school, she stays in school, and she goes post-secondary and avoid teenage pregnancies, HIV, and all these other burdens that tend to affect adolescent girls when they're still young.
Wow, this must certainly be a very tedious, venture for you to be involved in that, especially given the health infrastructures that we have in Africa. How do you manage that?
We go in knowing that these communities are underserved. They don't have the strong healthcare systems or infrastructure that is desirable or that would be ideal in order to push some of these efforts forward. So what we do is we work with what's there. So we go to a health facility, and however it is structured at that time, we figure out where are the gaps and we try to address those gaps. One of the major gaps that we have seen in health facilities has been lack of medical supplies. So basic medical supplies, things like gloves and cotton and placenta bags, things that are very basic that should be in health facilities are often lacking. And then families have to buy these medical supplies. And these are families that are already poor. A lot of them living on less than $2 a day, they cannot afford to buy medical supplies that are worth $10 or $20. So the work that CSI has been doing to date, over 300 women have benefited from the program called Saving Lives at Birth. And we purchased these childbirth kits from a company based out in Chicago, and we ship them out to where they're needed. So far, we've done this in Tanzania and Uganda, and we give them to the pregnant women. And that also empowers them to go to live in a hospital. And then we train the nurses and midwives on the contents of these childbirth kits. So they understand how to use them, and they're able to provide the services and help mothers survive.
How do you make sure that the right people get access to these kits?
Childbirth Survival International has a mantra, and that is reaching the unreached. And when we say reaching the unreached, we are reaching the unreached. So the example that I gave you of the pregnant women, they are getting these childbirth kits. Unlike giving them to the hospital, to the government, to the nurses and midwives, for the women to go and then be charged for what we have given for free essentially doesn't fit the purpose. So we give them to the pregnant women, and then that empowers them. So that has reached them. We provide adolescent girls with sanitary pads so they can go to school and stay in school and engage in extracurricular activities. And through that, we are giving them to the girls and not the school or their parents or their guardians. And so when you talk about transparency and accountability,
Yeah.
and of course in these settings where there are a lot of challenges politically, it's understandable. And we as an organization recognize that, and we make sure that we are actually reaching the unreached. We are giving, we are delivering the services that need to be delivered to the right people.
What's the structure that
We have on-the-ground teams.
Okay.
We believe in empowering people.
Okay.
There are people in Africa, educated, talented, resourceful, and so we recruit, people from within the communities who are passionate about the cause, who also believe in the cause of CSI, and they become the champions in terms of the interventions that we're implementing on the ground, saving lives at birth, training nurses and midwives, reaching out to youth, keeping them healthy, alive, and informed, especially where you have high rates of HIV and AIDS going around, helping the girl child go to school, and we work a lot with communities.
For you to do something like this, it must have come from a place of passion. Is there a particular story attached to this? Is there an experience that you had that pushed you to start working towards this?
So you're asking me $1 million question, and I guess
It
I'll
is
answer
$1 million
it.
question, because the passion with which you talk about this, that's what made me ask you this question.
Right.
Because
So growing up as a little girl, I wanted to be an obstetrician,
okay,
a gynecologist. And through our international travels when we're young, I never quite understood when we would travel from certain parts of the world and then would go to, let's say, Tanzania and Uganda to visit family. And you see kids without shoes. You go to hospitals and people on the floor. And it never quite clicked. And as I grew older, I got to understand the inequalities and the inequities in different societies. And I ended up veering off the medical to the public health side, realizing that more work needed to be done in the public health space. It's easy to deliver a woman. It's very easy to help her, pretty much deliver her baby. But then what about the steps that lead to that delivery? The healthy pregnancy, the informed pregnancy, the spouse that's supportive, the girl child that knows, she shouldn't be having sex, period. She should know what menstruation is. She should go to, so there are a lot of challenges on the back end before people actually get to the hospital. And that's where kind of, I don't want to say changed, it just shifted. So I didn't want to be the medical doctor delivering babies, but I wanted to be out on the field, like be the public health doctor per se.
how has that experience been so far? It's been 12 years. Is it 12 or more?
More. It's
More
been
than 12
it's been
years.
amazing. It's been amazing. The women that you're able to serve, the women that you're able to impact, the numerous thank yous that come, people asking you, what's your name? And you're like, it doesn't matter. It's okay, as
It's
long as you have
okay.
survived the pregnancy.
Now, do you get funding at all, or do you have like some, sponsors to kind of like push the work forward?
We have, kind of stretched out differently, but most of our funding comes through generous donors, through the diaspora. We have online campaigns. So for example, we have a campaign that's ongoing right now to raise $7,000 to procure 1,000 childbirth kits. Each kit costs $7, which is, I think, a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, but someone can tell me. Each kit costs $7, and that kit contains everything a woman needs to go and deliver.
Wow.
And so if we're able to get these for 1,000 women and be able to distribute them and help mothers and their families, that will be a huge bonus.
And we certainly hope that Africa and the world is watching right now, and they are getting ready to support this very, very, very unique cause, which is changing lives. Well, we are ready to spread the word. We're ready to take up the mantle and join this fight, because we want many more, newborns to survive, many more adolescents to be healthy, and especially mothers who are giving birth to be able to live, to survive.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, there's going to be more on the Celebrate Africa TV show. Don't you go anywhere.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
3, 2, 1, 2, go, 2. Are you ready? Yeah! Yeleleka. Oh, yeleleka, ma, yeba. Oh, yeba. Yeah! Yeleleka, ma. Oh, yeleleka, ma, baba. Oh, sojo. Adomo kerekengo. Adome ngajoke tekenge. Adamo kerekengo, adomenga polo kenge. Ye badomo kerekengo, adomenga mina kenge. Ye se lo wekere do bela tanyo na keja papa. Loka loka po, oyo gito, hey papa, oyo gito, hey bene papa. Ye se lo wekere do bela tanyo na keja papa. Hey papa oyo gito, hey bene papa. Hey toto oyo gito. Ebele paso, ebele lo yogito. Oli mokito kuya kiro kito bole 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 Aya, aya, ebele lo yogito. Oli mokito kita bole 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 yogito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Come on, asomoyo. Come on. Put your hands together. Come on. Are you here? Yeah. Hey, Papa. Look up, Polo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Here we go now. Everybody go. Here we go. Hey. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Africa, Mama T wait for you.
It's amazing to belong to such a beautiful continent as Africa. Look at all the beautiful music that we have and all these wonderful people. All of you, thank you so much for being part of this initiative. You on the Celebrate Africa TV show. And we are going to talk to another amazing African. He's an IT guru, but he's also a traditional chief and the pioneer president of a very big organization based here in the United States known as USA K-Towners. He is no other than Chief J.N. Fonguh too. I don't want to miss out on that one. Because you know what? When you miss out on a traditional title, you have to pay fines. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How do you greet a chief?
We're in the modern era, so
there's no bowing down, no, all those things?
Nah, except when I'm in my tour.
In your what?
In my tour.
In your tour?
Yes.
What is that?
That's a special thing.
Special thing?
Yeah.
You want to share a little bit about that special thing with us?
Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Anyways, thank you so much for accepting to be part of this initiative, the Celebrate Africa TV show. Tell us a little bit more about you.
I'm Chief J.N. Fonguh II. I'm an IT professional, as you rightly said. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a systems engineer. I'm a multi-talented guy. And the reason you got me on this show today is because I lead an organization which as a founder, and I have a co-founder in the audience here, called USAC, United States Association of K-Towners. And we've been in business for about 4 to 5 years. And we started with such big and ambitious dreams that we never understood or even figure out how we're going to fund them. But God being special as it is to us, we've been able to meet and exceed our goals beyond our widest dreams. And we still have a lot to do.
Tell us what made you start such an initiative.
I travel to Cameroon at least twice a year. And when you go back home and you see the challenges that people face, water.
Yeah.
I would say probably Boyer was the only town in Cameroon that had better water than Kumba. Some people say Moyoka too. But we had great water in the 80s when we were growing up. And about 5-10 years ago, the water quality was very deplorable. And you think about it, how much a bottle of mineral water costs. The average Joe in Cape Town or in Cameroon can't afford that.
No.
So we started thinking about projects we could do, and we thought we would give water because we believe when we give water, we've given life.
Yeah.
And we started about 10 of us, 11, and we said we're going to raise funds here in the United States, travel that money
And transform.
all the way, and build boreholes and give it to communities for free. And people thought we were crazy. There were people that said, there are people here that need help. And my response is always, if you can afford an air ticket until you
come
get
here.
here, you got at least one way is about 700,000-800,000 francs. That's almost $2,000. You are 10 times better than people back in Kumba that probably don't even, to see a 10,000 francs, $20 is a scarcity. And that's how we started.
What are some of the challenges that you've had so far along the way?
Cape Town, Kumba is a very complex town. In broken English, they said Kumba di kene kene for dry season. In politics, in real life. So we started because we had a previous organization that collected a lot of funds from people and did nothing with it. So all Cape Towners in the United States had a hiatus of about maybe 3 years that we had no Cape Town association. And we have great people from Cape Town, lawyers, businessmen, tycoons, doctors, pharmacists, biomedical engineers, a lot of skill sets. And I thought we ought to start something. So we started, and again, we needed to get the confidence of people who had donated before and didn't see anything. And it was a struggle.
It was.
I put in maybe $9,000 of my personal money to jumpstart it, to pay for hall, to get things done because we didn't have no funds. But we believed we could do it, and we stuck with it, and we convinced people, and we went down there and built borehole number 1 in Kumba 1 Council. We built the second one in Kumba 2. And now as I speak to you, water is flowing at Kumba 3 and people are drinking it.
I
And we
want to
did
go
that.
back down there and drink some of that water, living water. I was at one of your events and I was completely speechless. I think that was where I met with you when I heard you talking about your community so passionately. When I watched those images, I was like, wow, I have not really seen organizations that go back to really transform lives. So what are some of the feedback that you've gotten so far from the people?
We did something that I don't think any Cameroonian association has been able to do. We got the best-selling artists in Africa, the biggest.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Peter and Paul Okoye.
Yeah.
Both of them were supposed to be at our occasion, and they came under the auspices of our biggest donor, collaborating with me, Mr. Wilson Da Costa, and committed to come to that event to support. And we had the most successful fundraiser we've ever had. We raised over $95,000 in less than 2.5 hours.
I feel like that deserves an. So what is the way forward? Yes, we have water right now. Next project.
We are going to, I'm glad Mr. Eben Armstrong is here. We have a lot of people in the medical field that want to do something that we need is assistance. We're looking at building public toilets. I think the only town in Cameroon with a public toilet that I have seen is Sang Malima, very clean town. I was so envious when I saw that.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I called one of my closest collaborators. I said, Mr. Semayon, we can do this in Kumba too. We can have public toilets.
Yes, we can.
And yes, we can. We're going to try to get public toilets, build more boreholes, get more medical equipment, basically help the little John and Mary, the Mr. and Mrs. A and B that nobody knows about them, that they could get a direct impact and figure out that this little organization, you said we're big, we're not. We're small in numbers,
Doing big things.
they're doing big things.
Thank you so much for being part of us today. That's one of the reasons why we celebrate people like you who are able to step out of the crowd and who are not afraid, of falling, because falling is part of getting strong.
Yes.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely come around to see what's going on. And I need to drink some of that water from Kumba. Seriously, I have to drink some of that water.
It's available.
It might transform something in me,
Natural borehole water.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, we're going to take another musical break right now. We're going to another African country. Hey, don't you move a muscle.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
C'est Nelly encore. Je sais que t'es fatiguée, mais j'ai vraiment envie de te faire te déstresser ce soir. Toi que des années tu cherches le vrai amour, je pense que tu es au bon endroit. Il y a des filles, il y a des hommes partout. T'as laissé pour un autre moi que toi. Alors lui ou elle, il ne valait pas la peine. Toi qu'au fil du temps tu penses laisser tomber. Non, mais c'est pas le temps. Il y a de l'espoir. Toi qui es venu à cette fête tout seul. Ne t'inquiète, tu peux venir dans mes bras quand tu veux. Ou alors dans ses bras. Ou alors dans les bras de celle de la main. Celui-là. Elle. Je pense que vous avez fait l'un ou l'autre. Qu'est-ce que tu en penses? Toi qui es là ce soir avec l'amour de ta vie. Alors regardez les tout drôles, regardez ils sont contents. Oh l'amour qui a besoin de s'amuser. Alors lève-toi, danse. On s'en fout. Hein? Toi qui a besoin de se faire serrer très fort. Alors si tu es la seule ce soir, mes bras sont ouverts. Viens dans mes bras. Viens. Pas que ton amour a besoin de zouker. Viens. Alors, viens. Viens dans mes bras. Viens, on va zouker. N'aie pas honte. N'aie pas peur. Vas-y. Éclate-toi. Des choses, Léo, ça va aller.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
We just left from Cameroon and right now we're moving to another African country, Sierra Leone, to meet this beautiful goddess. I tell you, just the colors that she has on her brings in so much sunshine amidst all the light out here. She's a woman with a big heart. She's somebody who does so much for her community. We're going to be meeting her right now. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. She is Ngwengeh Kebi Shows. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
How do you say hello in Sierra Leone?
It depends what language you want to speak.
Your language.
You can speak Creole, which is couché.
What do I say?
Couché.
Crochet. Crochet to everybody watching us from Sierra Leone.
Yes.
We are receiving this big lady from your country. We heard she's doing big, big things, and we're here to find out more about her. So tell us, who is Ngwengeh Kebi Shows?
Ngwengeh is a simple person, actually,
Yeah.
who just seeks to fulfill her purpose
Yeah.
That's very short and precise. She's a simple person and she seeks to fulfill her purpose. So you started, this very big organization known as SLAM. You are an actress and you are a gospel singer amongst other things. Tell us a little bit about all of these little packs that make up this woman sitting right in front of us.
Well, the little packs didn't happen overnight. They basically happened out of life's experiences. A gospel singer, my purpose, God and what He's been doing for my life, and being gifted with a natural voice. So when it came time to sing, I had no other option but to sing for God. Just because every day, every hour, every moment, there was a reason to praise Him, and there's still a reason to praise Him. And by His grace, there will always be a reason to praise Him. An actress, my role models, people like Oprah. I used to hate her because I thought, oh, she's black and she's so successful. But when I sat down...
That was the kind of positive hatred, like you want to be like her.
Exactly, yeah. And when I saw people like Lupita just go on the stage and win the award, I cried the whole night. I said, I'm struggling here. This girl just won this thing like that. But then when you read about these people, they have a story. They went through things.
Yeah.
And it didn't just happen overnight. It was shaped into their life.
So you started SLAM. Tell us a little bit about SLAM.
I needed a platform where others could know what I had learned. And so SLAM came about. And SLAM has grown because when it came about, we found out that there's so many people from Sierra Leone who don't know how to project themselves professionally. And there's so much talent that's undiscovered. And so I wanted to create a platform where those of us out in the United States could know what those in Sierra Leone are doing. I went back home thinking I'm going to teach them something. And I found out they were exploding with talent.
Yeah.
And we're here and they come here and they don't know what we're doing. We need a platform where we can know each other, go somewhere, learn, and also have the international community see us, tap into us, but also uplift the standard of what we think is the norm and challenge ourselves to be on that professional and international platform. That's what SLAM was about.
Tell us a little bit about that album, Mahin.
Yeah. It's my version of Ngwengeh, the Nigerian song. I knew Ngwengeh so much that I was actually getting paid to minister Ngwengeh at weddings and events. And one of my fellow artists got angry and wrote a song for me with the beat, everything. I said, here, take this.
It. We're going to be having that song. She'll be performing for the first time right here on the Celebrate Africa TV show. Fold your trousers, get your shoes out if you have to get them out if necessary, and let's roll to that song, Mahin.
Yeah.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
you so much, guys, for being there. You are on the Celebrate Africa TV show. We celebrate Africa and Africans who are making a difference in their communities. Yes, we've been to Cameroon, we've been to Sierra Leone, we've been to Tanzania, Uganda, and now we're back to Cameroon to talk about this international artist. She does something that a lot of people don't know how to do with a paintbrush. When you look at her, you see all of Africa on her. You are welcome, Miss Shiri Achu Mocho.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for accepting to share the stage with us on the Celebrate Africa TV show. You look beautiful.
You look divine.
You look so African. I feel like I'm going to take everything that you have on you. The beads and everything and the hair.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. So we'll just go straight to it because we have this painting right here in the middle. I hope I get to keep this one. Yes.
So, you want me to talk straight about this painting? Or
Tell us a little bit about Miss Shiri Achu.
So, I have been a painter for over 31 years. And I started when I was quite young. And I had my first exhibition about 8 years ago. And ever since, I had the desire I felt it was important to start making prints of my work and take them from country to country every year and expose the Africa culture as much as I can in different parts of the world. So far, I did 35 in print, which was an exhibition that I did in London. Then I did 36 in print, which was an exhibition I did here in DC. I have done 37 in print in Australia, and I've just come back from 38 in print from Jamaica. That's the hair.
Ooh, that hair looks divine.
Thank you.
I wish I could have some. I don't know. I don't have too much to show for it, but that's amazing. So tell us a little bit about, all the prints. 35 in print, 36 in print,
right.
37, 38 in print this year.
Yes. So when I started painting, I knew I had to paint. So I started painting, and I had a desire to showcase Africa. I was living in London, and I wanted to show people the beautiful culture of Africa. So not only Cameroon, I'd paint the Maasai, I'd paint the Yoruba culture. So I felt it was important to showcase as much of the Africa culture as I possibly could. Of course, I'd love to be able to travel to the Uganda and everywhere else to at least show a little aspect of that culture, because I felt typically people always know the Maasai culture. And I wanted people to be able to look through art and also learn a little bit about the Bafuchu, or learn about the Yoruba, or learn about all the other aspects of cultures in Africa. And I felt it was important I could do that through my art. And that's why I have to travel to different parts of the world. And just, it's great that as I sit here, people in Australia know about Bafuchu, they know Yoruba, just, from the 1 week exhibition that I had whilst I was there.
Yeah. What inspires you, Miss Shiri?
Africa, of course.
Africa.
Yes.
You started this when you were quite young.
Yes.
Was it that easy with your parents going to school and still keeping your art?
I knew I had to, like I said earlier, I knew that I had to paint. So despite me doing well at school, I was always, I went on and I did architecture. I'm an architect. I always came back to my painting. I've worked in architectural practices in London, here. But I always feel like this is.
You always went back home to when you felt more.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Like, this is really, really amazing. Like, I noticed that most of your paintings tell a particular story.
Right.
They are not like all the paintings that we get to see everywhere.
Yeah.
What would you say is that particularity that your paintings have?
They're all personal to me, and each of my paintings, I've had an experience. Oh, I've seen this lady here. She was obviously, her baby is now born. This painting is called Rose.
So is this the painting of a real person?
It's a painting of a real person, and this painting is called Rose because the baby born was named Rose.
Oh, tell us a little bit about the Raise the Roof initiative. Now I see that you had to raise the roof, and here I see a very popular Hollywood artist. Brandy,
yes.
Tell us about this initiative, the Raise the Roof initiative.
So a friend of mine in Australia entered one of my paintings many years ago, and it was shortlisted for the finalists. So I sent that painting to Australia, and many years later, when I was going to do my exhibition in in Australia, she had the idea that I always have a raffle drawing at every exhibition because I want to have it a fun element and I want somebody to be able to win one of my paintings. So on this occasion, she said, Sherry, why don't we raffle? This painting is already here in Australia. Why don't we raffle off an original painting based on it? And I thought that's a great idea, but I wanted to be able to give, to use the funding for a good cause.
We can see from the images,
Yeah.
it's a building without a roof.
Correct.
And so I imagine that the proceeds of the sales made from the painting
Yes.
went
Going to-
towards raising this roof.
Correct.
I must
Yes.
commend your efforts.
Thank you.
I must commend your work, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you're doing
Thank you.
for Africa,
Thank
for
you.
your community. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. We're going to take a musical break right now. Let's move and shake. Don't you go anywhere.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you. Na 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 na. La 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 la, chérie. La la la, la la la, chérie. La 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 la, chérie. La la la, chérie. Tu me penses, tu me trappes, tu me le patates. Tu me le dis, alors. Catalina, 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 Catalina. Pata, pata, maman, chérie, botte le boss. Pata, pata, maman, chérie, botte le boss. Pata, pata, maman, chérie, botte le boss. Pata, maman, chérie, botte le boss. Sous le gel. Pourquoi tu m'appelles au passé? Tu m'es quand je t'appelle au passé. Pourquoi tu appelles mon nom au passé? Tu penses à moi, oh bébé au passé. Pourtant on est si bien, on était aussi bien. Il fallait les passer les bamoutas, oui. Oh nanana, oh nanana, Yangi. Baby for Sokoto, you be the only one, oh. Baby for Moke Tunjae, you be the only one, oh. Baby for my favor, oh. You be the only one, oh. Carry you go for Yaounde, oh. You be the only one, oh. See ya no, no. Waiting they happen, no. Na. You don't get money, carry you the go. You don't get goodie, carry you the go. Baby, don't get caught, carry you the go. Mama, baby, not carry you the go. Carry you for Chicago.
One more time. Yangi. Energetic. One more time. Watch out. Watch out, Yangi.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was amazing performance from Africa. Let's meet Mr. Eben Armstrong. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for accepting to be our guest today.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Yeah, as you rightly said, my name is Eben Armstrong. I'm the Director of Biomedical Engineering and Technical Services at MedShare USA. And what MedShare does is that it bridges the gap between surplus and need. In the country that we are, USA, there's a lot of surplus. There's a lot of surplus medical equipment as well. These equipment are surplus not because they are old or they are equipment that are obsolete, but this equipment because at one point the hospitals want to upgrade. So this surplus medical equipment, MedShare collects them, refurbish them, and send them all over the world. More especially to those developing countries. So my responsibility is to make sure that this equipment are functional, making sure that it meets the standard of the country, making sure that it has all its necessary accessories and manuals, making sure that it is well installed in the recipient country, and making sure that there is sustainability, whereby we train the doctors, the end users, how to use this equipment, and also train the biomedical engineers and technicians how to maintain and carry on plant preventive maintenance.
So tell us a little bit about the training. What does it consist of?
Yeah, that's a very, very important question. The training more especially is based on the equipment that we ship, but it is not limited to the equipment that we donate. It is also, we go as far as also training the people on the existing equipment. It comprises of troubleshooting techniques on how to check if the equipment is having fault. If there is any fault, they're able to troubleshoot and know how to fix it. It also comprises of what we call anatomy and physiology. If you have to use an ECG, which is electrocardiograph machine, you should be able to know how the heart functions. So we also make sure that we train the end users, and more especially the technicians, on the various anatomy and physiology of that particular equipment.
How do you choose the countries that you go to?
When people are aware of what MedShare does, they go online and complete the application. It's submitted. If your application is approved, MedShare will put together a 40-foot container of medical equipment and medical supplies and ship port to port from Atlanta to the port of entry. But prior to that, you have to have Form A, what we call exoneration letter, so that when this equipment or the container arrives here, the recipient country, they are able to collect it with less custom duty. Remember, there's always handling charges. This will be minimal. So when the application is filled and it is approved, and this is what is very important here, we respect World Health Organization of medical equipment and medical supply donation, meaning that what cannot be used in the United States, we do not donate it.
How do you get the funding to do things like this?
Beautiful question again. We have stakeholders, we have very big donors. They help to actually make sure that some of these equipment and medical containers gets to the recipient. For instance, let me give you a good example, Cameroon. Cameroon has been recipient for the past 4 years of Coca-Cola Africa Foundation donations. Each year, MedShare donates 6 containers of medical equipment and medical supply to the Central Hospital Yaoundé, the General Hospital Douala, and the Lakentine Hospital. It is not only limited to Cameroon. We have also companies like Kimberly Clark, who also make sure that MedShare ships 40-foot containers of medical equipment and supplies to other countries apart from African countries.
Now, when I hear you talking about Lakentine Hospital, Yaoundé, Douala, it seems like you are focused in the urban areas. How do you assure that some of this help gets to the people inside, like in the hinterlands?
Yes, if these hospitals, which are big hospitals in Cameroon, are strong enough and they are referral hospitals, they are able to help the satellite hospitals and the provincial hospitals as well. For instance, Douala saves more than a catchment area of more than 4 million people, including the southwest and the northwest region. It is like a referral hospital. So it has to be strong enough in order to help hospitals in littoral, hospitals from the northwest, hospitals from the southwest. We've shipped to Limbe, we've shipped to Mamfe, we've shipped to Bali in the northwest region.
Who are those who qualify for these trainings that you give?
Each hospital is supposed to send their biomedical technicians and engineers for training. The hospital that organizes for the training sends its technician for the training. That is definite. But one other important thing that we do is that we work with the Ministry of Health to send more trainees from different parts of the country. For instance, if we organize training in Colombia, we are not only limited to the hospital that we ship. Other technicians come together for the training. So those who are qualified are the biomedical technicians, biomedical engineers, technologists, and those who are actually working, repairing medical equipment in hospitals. Recently, we worked with the navies in Nigeria, the Ministry of Health in Tanzania. We also worked with the Ministry of Health in Kenya, the Ministry of Health in Liberia, to train the biomedical engineers
You are also an artist and you're going to be performing for Africa tonight. Tell us a little bit about that career, that music career of yours. I watched your video and I was amazed. I could not believe that somebody with such a portfolio, professional portfolio, would dance that much. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's good. Music is my passion, actually. And you know, there is this blend between music and health. Now, when you play music, music consoles, music makes you feel happy. Sometimes people are so sick when they listen to music, they are well.
Music is food for the soul.
That's correct. I love to sing, I love to dance, and I love to play guitar.
We're going to have the opportunity of dancing with our guest today. He's going to be thrilling us in just a bit. Don't you go anywhere.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
If you not like a man, you know the chopper, no miss and no fit chopper too. If you not like a man, you know the chopper, no miss and no fit chopper too. Hey, hey, hey. Look in yourself, nyama, 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 choma. If I I go chopper. Juala na lunge. Life mama, life is good.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the honor to have Stan Lion of Stan Lion Clothing right here on the Celebrate Africa TV show. He hails from Cameroon. Yes, he's a nurse at nighttime and a fashion guru during the day. So we're going to have the opportunity of looking at your fall collection right now. Tell us a little bit about this collection.
Well, this collection for the fall, yes, the ambassador can just walk around and so we can check out our first look. This look It's an overcoat, tan overcoat with patch pockets and cuffed hands at the end. It's a heavy wool one. It's really good for right in the winter because the weight of the wool is about 12 ounces per cubic centimeter for this one. And we did this and with the idea to keep that sort of look, but yet very classy and nice. And you flare that up on top of any door color, that will go really well. We accessorize it with a Leone patch and of course a patch pocket up top to flare it up with any kind of crochet that you choose to use on. And you see Marvin has that look that was it, and he just sits right well on any person. The next look that we're seeing is the blue overcoat and it's sitting on top of a double-breasted vest. This overcoat is a 4-button look. It's with patch pockets with flap covers on it. It's made to slim fit, and of course we have that little pocket up top for your crochet, which one will make you to have that ability to use the necessary accessories that you can use. Yes, look at that inner vest in there, alternate color tan, gives you that alternate look and that swag. Yes, and this is all 100% wool. And that's what Leone brings to you. We bring quality, we bring boldness, we bring vigor, we bring class. We have a very classic fall collection here. It's a double-breasted black wool overcoat with gold buttons, and that goes with patch pockets as well. With the flare of that gold button that shows itself, and a patch pocket up on the top as well. And of course, a very elegant 100% cab leather bag to accessorize that look. And the check, pants, just to give that extra flair of quality. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Celebrate Africa. Let's continue to celebrate. I appreciate it.
Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you. Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you. Africa, 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 Mama T wait for you.
I want all of us to be on the stage as Yangi brings us to a close. The lion fashion, all of you back there, please come over and let's do the Kotele dance to celebrate in style. Thank you so much. See you next time where we'll be celebrating Africa somewhere else. God bless you. Mwah.